Story of a lovely no, just playing. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer. Back in the right. Everybody just look around the boxes.
Clean up. Like, yeah.
I'm looking the wrong way.
Hey, Steph, how are you?
What's going on, man? What's going on, boys? How y'all feeling, man? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. Need y'all to go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. On today's episode, the Chicago Bears were mad active at the trade deadline. Did they have a successful trade deadline? And of course, the latest on Jaylen Johnson. He seems like he is here to stay, but for how long? All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. I completely forgot that I don't have the other intro in here, but hey, let's go. Sorry about that, y'all. It's just my show. Well, welcome into Pat and the rest of these guys. Now, I'm just playing. We got the squad in the building. Got the Pat line, Mr. P Kid in the chat, as always, man. We got Stefan Adon. Hold on, Stefan Adon in the building. Look at him. He's fighting it. He's fighting it. He's fighting it. Of course,
I hate. I'm blaming Kid.
And of course, C-Dub in the building. Hey, C-Dub is zoomed in on this mug, bro. That's a lot of face. It's a lot of face. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love to another episode of the Windy City Breeze, man. We got a lot to jump into on today's episode. Boys, the Chicago Bears buyers at the trade deadline, they give up a second-round pick that will be in 2024, which at this point is slated to be at least the number 34, number 35 pick. Right now for Montez Sweat, who you're adding into a defensive line that in total has 10 sacks on the year. He has 6.5 sacks on his own. How are we feeling about the trade? Do you feel like the Chicago Bears had a successful trade deadline, knowing that, right, a 2-6 team usually isn't buyers at the trade deadline? What are your thoughts?
I think they had a successful trade deadline. I mean, if you look at the moves that was made, you basically tried to shop Jaylen Johnson. There were some teams that wanted him late. They basically say so basically Poles keeps him. But then on top of that, we were having questions about would the Bears keep Yannick Ngakoue because you didn't know how the season was gonna pan out. So now you keep Yannick Ngakoue, you got Montez Sweat on the other side. And now it just feels like to me, because I was thinking about this, if once Justin does come back, it's kind of like I said yesterday. If he does get rolling and shows something, now you, like you said, you got the fourth and fifth year option. You don't have to pay him. You're gonna pay. You fully have the intention of paying Montez Sweat and DJ Moore, so you get those guys shored up. You don't have to pay Justin, and you're so far up in the draft with the 2 picks, you can get somebody for the middle of that defensive line. Yep. So that basically just shores up the defense. And Matt Eberflus, even though okay, maybe he's not doing his due diligence as a head coach, you can't say that the defense hasn't done their part. You know, the last couple of weeks, or look to try.
Well, it definitely didn't do his part last week.
So I think, you know what? With all that being said, I do think that they had a successful trade deadline.
I look at it from a different perspective. Not really different, but also in agreement. There's a couple things that we needed to fix, and I've always been king skip them picks. Like if I'm definitely on that train. Like,
hey,
if you need
one ring, and the next 25 don't ask for nothing else. you know what it's like.
One championship, you will never get nothing else again.
Like,
shut your mouth.
You know when your OG y'all go to the store and you be like, hey, Ma, can I get this one thing? We getting this one thing. Don't ask me for nothing else for the rest of the week. That's kid, bro.
Hey, but
That's
I was
kid.
facts. But here's the thing. You know what that one thing was? Montez Sweat. Like that one thing right there
Yeah.
for that second rounder. Don't ask for
Right.
nothing else. At this particular
We need
point,
a lot
like
else though.
Pose did what he needed to do. Let's
Yeah.
be real. There's no second rounder that was going to come in and have that level of impact that he can bring immediately onto the field. You know, there's no learning curve there. He's still a very young defensive end, and you absolutely still need to evaluate the rest of this team for the rest of this year. So you have that opportunity now in the second half of this season without the pressure of winning. Like, there's no real pressure to win now. We kind of all agree
It's a
that we're
future
not gonna
pick. Yeah, it's a future pick.
It's a future pick. So, I mean, at this point, we kind of all agree that we're not there. If we stumble into the playoffs, it's definitely by chance. Definitely because we hit a late run. Other people done fell off. Minnesota. Kind of depends on what Dobbs does. But at the end of the day, like, you know that he's
that's
now
the weirdest trade in the world, bro. Poor Josh Dobbs, bro.
crazy, bro. But you know what? He gets to throw to elite talent now. But that's a whole different conversation. Like, but realistically, Pose did what he didn't give up a first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still maintain those 2 firsts. And at
Yeah.
this point, if you really don't feel like we need a QB, and most of Chicago is still saying, hey, they riding with JF1. If you're a Badgett fan, sure, whatever the case is, you know, you probably trade back and pick up more pieces like he did previously. So actually make that up. So I really feel like this is a win. Like, he's constructed this masterfully. He's had some misses, but for the most part, he's actually got a nice track record of how he's kind of structured this, how he's actually layered this out. And I'm a fan of it. So
Yeah, I agree with Kid, man. I feel like Poles has shown he's done a good job of like putting the team together for the most part. I mean, even though like not everything hit, right? Chase Claypool didn't hit. That second round was a waste, unfortunately. But I mean, sometimes you got to give up value to get value. And we need a defensive end and we need pass rush. And that's what Montez Sweat brings. And sometimes you got to give up something. We gave up a second round pick. So, you know, but we also got to keep Jaylen Johnson and to figure out what's going to be next in terms of that extension. So overall, I would say it's a W for the Bears. I mean, we got our edge rusher and now we keep our cornerback. So it just, the team has the potential to go this way. I don't see the team really going this way from last week. And that's as far as potential goes. You know, so we're going to see what happens this coming week, but I do like the trade overall.
Yeah. For my take on this, I think great trade. I'm kind of in agreement with all you guys. I think that the Bears got a W on this. I think they went with the safer pick because for me, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted Chase and Montez Sweat. I was trying to get greedy, but I'll take.
Hey,
Montez
listen.
Sweat.
Apparently, that's the way to go. I'm not gonna lie to you because I said I was talking about Philly trying to go out there and get Chase, and I was like, you can't have everything, bro.
Yes,
can't have. You got. You got what's the young boy that just
San
drafted?
Francisco?
Carter.
Nick.
That
Carter.
Philly just drafted Javon
Carter.
Carter, not
Oh, you
Javon
talking
Carter,
about
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Carter.
Yeah, they ain't got
Jalen
Javon
Carter.
Carter. Of course, by the way,
Jalen,
just to bring it up, Kid never around when a player that he trashes has a good game. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying,
Ooh,
This is
11 whole
never
points.
around. Hey,
11
listen,
whole
be
points.
topping.
11 points.
Will be
Oh
topping.
my
Great
God.
defense, loved it. But no,
my God.
listen, I was like, you got Jalen Carter. You can't have everything, brother. Philly said we can have everything. But yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, no, my thing is I think that this is good for the now and also for the future. So now I think that Poles made a good decision because I think he brought him in with the confidence that he'll be able to re-sign him in the offseason. They have over 110 million going into the next year in salary cap space. And so you don't give up a second pick unless you know that you're going to keep that guy around, or they better. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at Poles like an idiot again. So hopefully that was the move. And that's the direction. I do like it. I think this also proves now that Jaylon hasn't been traded, that if the pressure is there from the defensive line, that now the cornerbacks can play a little bit freer. I've mentioned this before, that now if Jaylon wants this big money, I know we're going to talk about it, well, now's your time to shine. You have no excuses because now you got a premier pass rusher on the line, which was our deficiency. And now what are you going to do to get more interceptions, get more in the passing lanes? So it all works out. We'll see.
No, 100%. I think the biggest question right now with this Bears team is now, right? I think this is a part where people maybe aren't looking at it from this angle as well, right? This is a test for Flus to me. Listen, you're a defensive head coach. You are a young guy who is supposed to be the leader of this defense. You've been coaching this defense. Yes, we've seen better, but right? We go into last week and we're sitting there like, yo, you didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. You didn't do anything that developed any pressure on the quarterback. And, your defense is still one of the worst in the NFL minus the run game. This is a test for me for Ryan Poles. Listen, I'm going to give you the rest of the season. I'm going to add in a pass rusher for you. We're not going to move on from Jaylen Johnson. Of course, we got to talk about the Jaylen Johnson situation here. But you're going to have what I would say is the best case scenario situation for the position that we came into the season with. What can you do with it? And if you can't do nothing with it, hey, listen, here's the door, brother. You have a nice life. We appreciate you for coming through. Like, that's the only reason for me. Those are one of the only two reasons for me to be buyers at the deadline if I'm the Chicago Bears, because one, right, you're 2-6. You're heading toward a season that's going to be a losing season. You want to improve, but this is a season all about tests. What is Justin Fields going to do to finish out the season? He's not going to get a chance to start this week. Still dealing with the thumb injury. Are you rolling just in general with Tyson Bagent the rest of the year? Are you rolling here, just with him in week 9? And it really is something where Justin Fields can come back. If that's the case, wouldn't have made sense for you to not put him on IR. But there's on the defensive side, right? Is Flus the answer defensively for this team? That's a real question that nobody's talking about, because the defense that we've seen is not good. We've seen moments, and every defensive game that they won, somebody compiled the list of quarterbacks that Flus has beaten. When I tell you it's old, dead, and backups. Like, that's it. Like, y'all ever seen Major League? Y'all ever seen Major League? He said, when she give him the list of players, he's like, most of these guys are past their prime. Half of these guys never had a prime. This guy's dead. That's the list of quarterbacks that the Chicago Bears have beat since Flus has been here. So, this is a test for him as well. Now, you guys are both, a couple of you guys have mentioned about Chase Young going for a third. For me, I don't have a problem with that because of the major injury. Like, there are major injury concerns with Chase Young. It's not like injury concerns like, oh, he got an ankle. Like, no, he's had major injury concerns in his career. And
it wouldn't fit Poe's profile to get him for that third.
Chase Young went for a third, Montez Sweat going for a second. And the rationale on that, and we've seen this from a couple of different places. I believe Josina Anderson also talked about this as well, is that you can re-sign Montez Sweat a heck of a lot easier than you can re-signing Chase Young. Plus, San Francisco seems to be all aligned with Kid on F them picks. They keep doing this.
But
do you feel like it's an oversell? Do you feel like Poles overpaid for Montez Sweat, or is it right on par?
Oh, well, you said, was it an overpay?
Was it an overpay for Montez Sweat? You gave up a second-round pick for it. That's a high pick. It's going to be the 35th pick in the draft.
Because you're going to not like he's going to well, what's the word I'm looking for? Like he was worth it. Like he's worth it. I mean, you already talk about this dude. This dude's got what 7 sacks or 5 sacks right now.
Got 6.5 sacks right now. Montez Sweat.
Six and a half.
8.
6.5 is crazy right now. And then you also have to think about it. It's like you just reported with Josina. He's going to be easy to re-sign, and it's kind of like what I said at the beginning of the season when they got Yannick, right? To me, because everybody was like, "Oh, yo, I'm like super high on Yannick." I was like, "Yo," to me, outside of when Yannick was with Indy and all those other places, like he's had elite people alongside him to
Forrest Buckner pretty elite. He had him out then
to help him look better. So that's automatically going help him look better as a whole. So now, like I said, if you look at it, you got both of those guys. You re-sign Montez Sweat, you re-sign DJ Moore. If I'm in the draft and I got a 1 through 5, I'm looking in the middle of that D line in terms of the draft for next season, because if we get that guy in the middle to to just create that pressure. Now if you want to talk about, okay, everybody's playing their right positions, that like helps Tremaine Edmonds, that helps TJ Edwards, that's gonna help those corners, those physical corners at the line that can jump those routes. So everything is like now aligning That like Flus has to be able to put it together. Like him and Justin, I feel like are on a trial run, but you can't. But at the end of the season, us as fans, we can't be able to say like, oh, Poles didn't give Flus a fair shot because now you got
because you didn't give it pressure.
10 games.
Yeah.
You got 10 games left.
And the interesting part that I don't know if anybody else is talking about, DeMarcus Walker can play inside. So maybe Justin Jones moves back at some point, right? Maybe you run a starting lineup out there where you have DeMarcus Walker, or I'm sorry, Yannick Ngakoue, Andrew Billings, DeMarcus Walker, and Montez Sweat, right? Like you give yourself those four as your downline four. I haven't seen a ton of DeMarcus Walker being successful on the inside, but I also haven't seen a ton of him being successful on the outside. So
right.
I give you another aspect of it too. When you talk about, is it an overpay? And I look at, ultimately, if you got to put yourself in Ryan Pace, Pole's shoes, realistically going to the next draft, did you have any defensive ends that would give you the same type of impact that Montez would give you? No,
in the
it's
second
not.
round.
No,
not
Jared
round.
Verse.
It's not a very strong defensive end draft.
Yeah.
They probably,
but you're strong
gambling. You're gambling.
Offensive line draft. There are some considerable people on the offensive line.
On the edges,
I've been very
your
critical.
tackles,
Yeah, I've been very critical on that part. It's like, hey, I understand that you want to build both sides of the ball, and you have to, right? But some of the times you got to pick a lane and like really maximize it. And I feel like he didn't really do that early. This tells me that, hey, he's trying to pick up some veteran pieces to actually avoid that learning curve. But he's also going to sit there and hopefully pick more offensively when going into the next draft. And so that's what I looked at. I looked at, hey, he got his defensive end that he need. I know we still need more pieces there, and he can still get those in later picks. But this told me early on in 2024, we're going offense. And we need to do something.
Listen, you had to, because I think you missed the real opportunity to go offense a second time with an answer versus going defense twice. In the second round this year, you went Javon Dexter and Tyreek Stevenson before John Michael Schmitz came off the board.
Can't do that. And then you ended up with Velus Jones.
Well, that's a whole different draft. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Bayless still on the team.
I'm never gonna let that go.
Bayless is still here.
He's still here, bro. He's still hanging around. No, but I agree with you. Like I think that there is something to be said about him going offense next season, and he's going to do that in the first round, no matter what. Guess what? One of the first, depending on what you end up trading back for. I don't believe he's going to go quarterback. Maybe he does, but quarterback is offense, and he's probably going to go with Joe Alt at some point in that first round. I think that to me, that would be the best case scenario.
And the crazy thing, I want to just throw this out there. I don't think Caleb, if he does go quarterback, I don't think Caleb Williams is the guy. I think Penix is actually the dude.
I said this.
I thought Penix was he performed better against some of the same teams. And if you really look at his tape, he gives you a lot of what you want Justin to give you.
You've been praising him for a minute. I know you've been on that Penix train for a minute. It
was weird looking at his tape. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this kid as much? Like, everyone's talking about Drake May. I get it. Drake May looks good. Everyone's talking about Caleb Williams and stuff like that.
Why everybody's talking about Drake May? You gotta have a strong chinned white guy. No, I'm just playing. I'm joking. I just like.
He could be Will Levis, who's out there balling right now.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. There's a part of me that even with Tyson Bagent, right? And added Tyson Bagent as the starting quarterback right now. When you hear him talk, there's a part of me that does want him to be the starting quarterback just because I love how he talks. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it has nothing to do with the play on the field. Hold up. Like, hearing this is like 10-year. I think I got this clip here. This is 10-year veteran talk about Velus Jones dropping his pass right here. Listen to how he say this, right?
Deep ball to Velus. When it left your hand, did you think that was going to be 6?
Yeah, I felt good about it, but always going to trust the guys that are out there. Got full faith in Velus. I've seen him make plays like that a million times. So that happens again next week and the week after that. Still going to make it a point to get him.
Great answer.
Bro,
Great
answer,
bro.
That is about as political as it gets.
They said,
it
you
happens
think
again.
that's gonna be a touchdown? That man said, yeah. Thought about it. It was like, this ain't gonna go how they wanted to go. You know what? I've seen Bayless, gonna still have faith in him. Seen him make that play a million times. Now, in my mind, the first thing I thought was, you've seen him make a tough catch like that a million times? Because I haven't seen that.
Never.
Right? But then
practice.
my co-host over on the Chicago Bears post-game show, and my co-host on the Chicago Bears post-game show said, yeah, we have seen him drop a pass like that a million times. And I was like, oh, the double entendre got me. I'm not going to lie to you. The double entendre got me. I thought that, I don't know, man. Like, the offensive side of the football right now with this Bears team is, I'm glad that it's the focus. And you can tell that it's the focus from Ryan Poles. And this is, like, again, going out and getting a guy like Chase Young to me, or not Chase Young, Montez Sweat, or if we had to win and got Chase Young, or, like whatever we would have done defensively, is the conversation where you go out and you look at the man that is coaching your team and you say, you're a defensive coach. Defense. Do something with defense. Anything with defense. And listen, I get it, right? Like, the struggles that they've been having, I'm not surprised by. You don't have a 3 technique. You don't have a nose tackle. You got 2 dudes that you're trying to develop right now. And you had one guy that was able to bring edge pressure. Like, why wouldn't the defense be struggling? You said what?
Do you think that's the conversation that's being had? Because I'm sure they're having these frank conversations as to where the status of this team is.
I think that's part of it.
Like, hey, you didn't give me the personnel.
I think that's part of it because, listen, I said this coming into the season. With what we had, I never expected this defense to work. What I expected was Luke Getsy to look like a better offensive coordinator, and we'd be trying to win games 35-32. I never expected this defense to work. I thought you might be good against the run because you had Andrew Billings and Justin Jones. We are. We're 5th in the NFL against the run. But I never expected, I thought your DB room would be a lot more healthy. With your DBs, I thought you'd have help. But I never expected it to work because there's no 3 technique. This defense literally does not work without a 3 technique.
Hey, is it me or is Jaquan Brisker not taking that next step like we thought?
Well, he's been hurt a lot. Jaquan, when he's been in there, he has played well, but he's been hurt a lot this year. And now, right, like with the concussion protocol, I don't know if y'all heard what Flus was saying about him, basically, that he went out there and was like, yo, I ain't feeling right. And then they had him reevaluated for a concussion because they was like, well, you look healthy, you seem healthy, had him reevaluated, man, still had a concussion.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah.
So he played last week. He didn't play. They kept him on the sideline, but he played last week, or he was active last week with a concussion. And they, to the Bears' credit, I guess, or I don't know. The Bears lie a lot, right? Like last week on the radio, Poles told us that it was going to be a quiet trade deadline. This week we traded for Montez Sweat. I don't know. The Bears lie a lot.
It's quiet to him.
Hey, listen, right? Yeah, I didn't get rid of Roquan.
But you know what? The value of Montez Sweat could be just based what the market had dictated, man. I mean, maybe there was a lot of offers coming in for Sweat, and that's just we gave the best offer, and that's probably why we ended up getting him.
That definitely could have been something that was on the table as well. You never know what the bidding war is going on in there, right? And we do know, the one thing we do know is there definitely was less of a bidding war for Chase Young because of the injury. Chase Young dealing with the injury history. So question to the chat and everybody out there, and we're going to keep it moving along here, but is it worth the pick? Drop that comment in the comments below. Let us know. Do you think that Montez Sweat will be worth the 2nd round pick that the Bears gave up? If he's worth it, if the Bears rattle off 5 more wins this season, and then the pick is like 45th versus
can I add to that question?
Yeah.
Realistically, it's not a matter of the pick because I think we all agree that the 2nd round pick was worth it. But how much are you going to pay him now? Because you didn't make that trade not to pay him.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think you make that trade if you feel like you can't pay him.
Yeah, so we got some of them.
That's why.
I feel like it depends on what he do the rest of the season though. Like right now, he got 6.5 sacks. If he go off at 13,
well, yeah, then it's an elite.
Well, here's my thing too. Did he get the?
But it's gonna be double.
Is it 13 and a loss?
Now we really come to the table.
He's gonna be doubled so much because everybody now knows that's the one guy that could get pressure.
That's exactly what I was about to get on with exactly PK. You took the words right out of my mouth because he came from a team where they had 3 other good to elite defenders on that line. You're talking about Chase, Jonathan Allen, and Darren Payne or Deron Payne. Like, you don't have that on the Bears.
He became
like,
Deron when he got paid.
Deron, okay.
Hey, that's really my thing. I swear these must become Deron Payne. Or who was the other one? Who was the
you gotta put some fanciness on their name now.
That man's name was Darren his whole life. He was Deron Williams. The second he got $100 million deal. I ain't buying it.
That's what I'm saying. Like it seems like, okay, is he a product of the line, or is he a product of his own talent? Where he'll still flash those sacks and the pressures and everything getting to the quarterback with what he has now. That's what the test is going to be, in my opinion.
Well, I think
the biggest question mark, though, right? Like, if we're worried about, is he going to be that guy if they double team him? If he's not that guy and they double team him, Yannick is. Please double team him. I'm begging you, double team him. And that's why, to me, that's the other reason why you bring a player like this in, right? You double team Deron Payne, or you double team Yannick Ngakoue, whichever one you double team. That makes my young guys in the middle life easier. Now, at some point during this season, they're gonna go Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter. You guys are starting, or at least one of you two guys are starting.
Dexter, yeah.
Dexter or Pickens. Maybe it's Dexter, but Pickens still looks to be ahead of Dexter to me. He looks like he's better right now as a penetration pass rusher than Javon Dexter is right now. But with all that being said, right, like, their life is now made easier because there's options on the other side. The reason that Jalen Carter is able to go out there and have the start to his career that he has, and not to say that he's not an elite player and he's not a dominant pass rusher and he's not going to be that in this league for a long time, but it makes it a lot easier when I'm worried about the dudes that are already here, that have already been in these backfields all the way to a Super Bowl for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, I mean, like, that's to me what the Bears. You go out, you get 2 edge guys, and you want a guy that's going to be able to dent the pocket, but you still have that guy that you're like, I'm more worried about you than I am you right now. So we're going to double him. Doubling him opens something else up, and that makes life a lot easier. But hey, man, let us know how you guys feel. Do you think it's worth the pick? In the comments below. We're going to keep this thing moving along because there was another interesting development today. Last night, we dropped the video talking about Jaylen Johnson requesting a trade. Today, I think he got humbled, boys, because there was a lot of talk, one, about Jaylen Johnson not re-signing here and basically saying, I'm going to demand a trade and we're going to get up out of here. And the Bears called his bluff, and they said, listen, for the price you're at right now, you go out there and you see if people will pay you that price. I heard Greg Gabriel talking about this, heard Josina Anderson talking about this, both of them reporting. Josina talked about the Cowboys specifically, said the price for Jaylen Johnson is not at their price point, basically saying it ain't worth it for us to come get you. Greg Gabriel basically said the money that Jaylen Johnson is asking for is, he said, out of line. Out of line is
that's that cornerback arrogance, baby.
Everything that I've heard is that he's trying to reset the cornerback market with a contract. And he's not worth resetting the cornerback market. Now, he is worth a lot of money, and I do believe that. His pass breakup numbers, his QBR against, everything that goes into that, I do believe that is worth it. But Tommy Waddle was talking on ESPN 1000 yesterday and today, and he said that he had heard that the Bears did make a contract offer of $20 million, and they were too far apart on that. $20 million is $1 million less than Jair Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylen Johnson is not Jair Alexander.
No,
he's nowhere near Jair Alexander. I'm willing to say, because we're paying you to stay, I would give you Xavier Howard money. He ain't Xavier Howard.
Stop it.
No. I give him 18. I've come around to saying I'm willing to give you 18.
Man, you are nice. You are nice.
His stats, because you can't keep the takeaways away from him.
We twinking on paying a running back, but we gonna pay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now, Ringo. As far as values in the NFL,
You gonna pay
As
Jaylen
far as
Johnson
values in the NFL,
18 what?
He up there.
18,
in the NFL,
18
He
what?
up there.
hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Jaylen Johnson is probably the 4th best player on this team. He's still more valuable than the starting running back on your team.
Hey, true, but ain't no way I'm giving him an 18. You talking about a reset?
He's still more valuable than the starting running back on your team. But you know what I mean? Like,
14. Yeah, okay, 14.
yeah, I mean, but no, like here's the thing with Jaylen Johnson, right? Like you also are paying for the fact that you know he's a leader in this locker room. And I think Ryan Poles learned something last year trading away Roquan Smith. You gutted this team. That was the guy they looked up to. That was the guy that was a leader. That was the guy that was, you know, boom, let's he's our focal point on this side of the ball. We follow him. And you rip that away from them. And there is something to keeping a guy around that is that. You know what I mean? Like there is value in keeping that guy in the locker. That's why the Bears were willing to pay David Montgomery $6 million a year. Mm-hmm. He just didn't want to be here no more. But that's why they were willing to pay him that, because he was an offensive leader to this team, and it was a blow to this team when he wasn't there. So you do have to take that into account. What do I think Jaylen Johnson's worth? Probably 15.
15 is fair.
I probably think he's worth 15.
And who knows? Who knows what the season, Pat?
Ringo, I have a tough time taking your values into account. You still trying to pay running backs, bro.
I'm really not, bro.
Running backs, bro.
I'm
you
not
beating the table. How we not paying Saquon?
All I said
He's
was
all we
all I said was that he didn't have to pay. Was that he wasn't trying to get top dollar, because we needed other positions that we had to fill. I said that.
Hey, bro, he's trying to get more than $3 million a year. You have a nice day.
We are not going to sit here and trip over the Giants. See, Dale, what would you say?
Hey, Snoop Huntley. Hey, Snoop Huntley, how about you calm down?
C-Dub was talking anyway.
Not C-Dub. Okay. Hey. If I got the running back, you got the quarterback, buddy.
Hey, but what I'm saying is this, though. Honestly, he has a chance to increase his value. I mean, just for the simple fact that now you got Sweat, and the biggest problem to our cornerbacks all season, or pretty much since, we've had no line, is that there's no pressure. So you can't get interceptions if the ball isn't thrown your way. You can't get interceptions if there's no pressure from the front four. And so now we may get some more pressure. Let's see what Jaylen does. And if he does increase that value, I can see 15, maybe 15 to 18 at a max, And
I think the question is how much does leadership cost? That's really the question. Like, to me, I'm willing to pay David Montgomery $3 million. I think Ryan Poles is willing to pay David Montgomery $3 million. Maybe 4. He gave him an extra $2 to $3 million for being a leader on this team.
Yeah.
That's the question. How much does leadership cost? And it's because you saw the effect when Roquan got traded away. Roquan is not the right linebacker for this defense in the end. Now, I'd rather have Roquan right now, but that's neither here nor there. But he's not the right linebacker for this defense in the end. But the leadership that he brought would be very much needed right now, because I believe that he was willing to set a standard and live up to that standard. And we ain't seen that on this defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how much are you willing to pay for leadership on top of what a guy's actual value is?
And
that's
to be
what
honest
you have to
with you,
take into account.
That Flus also influences, because he needs as many people to help get them and rally behind them as well. Flus is battling for his job. You're not going to trade away a leader in the locker room with the coach that's on the last leg trying to bounce back and stuff like that. It's a disastrous thing right there. And so at this point, I mean, not sign, not re-sign, not trade. So even still, even trade. I think Flus really is trying to make sure that they get him as close as possible to his numbers, because you need that voice in that locker room. Like, you really need to be able to start building some type of identity going into the next season and turn it and righting the ship. And you can't do that if you trade away all the pieces that everyone's familiar with, especially when you're trying to develop young talent.
Hey, but the problem is they fall apart on $20 million. What you asking for?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. Like, I get it, right? You have to value yourself at a certain number, but paying a quarterback $25 million a year is insane.
He had an interview today that didn't say that it was that he didn't make it seem as if they were far off. I would love to see what the actual report is. He handled himself well in that little interview,
I
by the
would
way,
love to
too.
see those numbers.
And so,
I mean, my thing is though, I don't see him. In my opinion, I just don't see him coming back. I think he stays the rest of the year because, like we just stated, like
Well, he ain't got no choice now.
he's gonna stay the rest of the year. I think they're gonna let him go because you still gotta pay. You made that trade with the intent of paying Montez Sweat, and you still gonna pay DJ Moore.
Yeah, but we got
So-
$100 million.
We got a lot of money, though.
In
100
cap.
And we got
$150
we got plenty of money.
we could pay for
We
him,
got money
but
to play with.
I also believe that here's the thing with Jaylen Johnson for me, right? Like, one, we also have reported that Jaylen Johnson won't be in contact again by Josina Anderson. She was on point today. That he won't be talking with the Bears basically about contract extensions through the rest of the season. He's probably playing for another team next year. Here's the question that I have for y'all. If Jaylen Johnson walks and you got nothing for him, granted, you got nothing for him because the rest of the NFL did not value him at the price that he values himself at, and draft capital on top of that. Is this a stain on Ryan Poles right now, even though he didn't pick him? But knowing that this man has addressed the DB position tenfold on this team. Now, Terrell Smith is out with mono, but Terrell Smith looks really good. Tyree Stevenson looks really good. Kyler Gordon, I mean, he was getting cooked the other day, but he looked good at points, right? He's coming back and playing pretty well. Jaquan Brisker looks pretty good. Eddie Jackson's probably going, but he's attacking that DB room consistently. Is this a stain on Poles? And yes, everybody in the chat is saying this. He can still franchise tag Jaylen Johnson and then trade him away on the tag, or transition tag or franchise tag.
He can tag him, but I would think this is a stain on his resume because let's just say Jaylen just so happens to leave. You're not going to look for a cornerback with the first round picks. Like we already discussed, you're looking for either MHJ because you're not passing up on the talent like that because you may need another elite receiver in the room if Darnell Mooney leaves or whatever happens with that. You're also going to go for an offensive lineman. And so now, and then you just gave up your second round pick. And so if they don't go for a like premier cornerback in next year's free agency, then yeah, I think this is an L.
I also feel like we have so much room and so much cap that paying him is not going to be a problem. Paying him, paying DJ Moore, and it's not going to be a problem.
He's probably not sticking around.
But
he's probably going to get his value up by being behind this pass rush and then be like, all right, y'all didn't want to pay me, bet somebody will.
And that's the risk you take. But if he doesn't, now it's like, hey, well, we got you this protection. Well, we got you this help. These were the results. Is this top 5 money? No, it's not top 5 money. It's all a negotiation. Again, I'm going based off what the player himself said. He seems to be very level-headed with that, him and his agent.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to them for trying to handle good business. You really just negotiate we're talking to us, it's just a number. To us, it's like this cap space and this imaginary number that we're not emotionally tied to because it's not our money. But this is his livelihood. Right. And so, like, you got to look at it from that aspect. He's literally negotiating how much he's willing to work for every particular day and the sacrifice he has to make. So, I mean, he's just trying to do good business, and I respect that. And I actually respect what Ryan Poles has actually done. You got to think about it. By making this trade, this gives him more of an opportunity to up his value. So even if he is playing for another team, think of it from an individual standpoint. He now gets to go play for somebody, and hopefully they give him that money. And that's a good thing. If not, hey, we're here, we're building, let's work. And I think that's just good business on both sides. Ryan Poles is in a business of trying to get the best talent without spending as much money as possible.
I love it.
And JJ is in a business of, hey, I got to maximize. I got to
get my
career
bread
because I only got so many years. So
I
think it's just good business. I don't think it's a stain.
I do love it from that standpoint. And say what you want about, kind of and listen, it's all gonna be, if Montez Sweat come here and he trash. And we wasted another set. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it seems like people come into the building and just become trash. Like, they weren't trash when they got here, but they walked in. It was like, you know what? Trash today. I'm feeling.
They don't have the systems in.
And they don't have systems. But
they don't have the systems.
If Montez Sweat comes here and he is trash, and you gave up a second round pick and missed on both of them, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So this is also right. Like, this is and I like that Ryan Poles willing to play hardball in these situations, but he's making some decisions after this deadline that to me are very much like, hey, if this don't work out for you, my boy, you may have a new job in a couple of years here real quick. Like because these are, and listen, it makes a big difference if you hit on your first round picks, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I missed so much. Like right now, Javon Dexter feels like a miss, but Darnell Wright don't.
Hey, but look at the 40
Darnell's
chess
a beast.
playing.
Darnell's a beast. So like the whole time I'm like, hey man, Javon Dexter. Oh, Darnell. Javon.
Darnell
good.
Darnell.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's like I said at the beginning. Though I feel like in the end, like it's like Kid said, like he's giving Jaylen every opportunity to maximize his potential, and that's literally the third guy that he's done that he's had
do
on
be
the team.
looking out
Like,
for the
okay,
players.
you want to be here. Essentially, you got to show me. Like, okay, Justin want to be here. You want to show this? Okay, I got you the weapons. Flus, you want the defense? Okay, don't worry about it. I got you Jermaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. Now I got you Montez Sweat. Figure it out. Same thing with Jaylen Johnson. I got you these pieces. Y'all said y'all want to go out and be dogs. Now it's time for you to go out and perform. The thing that I like about Jaylen is he knows that he got to go out and do it. And if he don't, I mean, if he does or if he doesn't, and they wind up paying him or not, thank you for playing the work version of our game. Hey, I'll see you.
I like the decisiveness Pose has shown. Pose shown up right away with the Roquan situation. It's like, hey, if we far off, all right, my boy, hey, holla at you, right? And now, even with the pieces that we're trying to build around, he's shown some decisiveness with that. Hey, you didn't have a number one receiver. I got you a number one receiver. I drafted you some linemen. I'm giving you some time. If the knock on you was still that you hold this ball too long, my boy, that's on you. Hey, if the knock on Flus is, hey, you're not a good leader, that's on you. I've given you the people here to help you do that. If Luke Getsy is not the guy, hey, you have the talent to give me the high powered offense. You ain't producing it.
Yeah. It do feel like he has.
Oh, go ahead, C-Dub.
No, I was gonna say it do feel like Poles has a strategy in play. I mean, even though even though Claypool didn't hit, he knew there weren't no wide receiver in this draft this year that was worth taking high on. So let me go for a guy that has
There's a couple dudes winning that second round I liked a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
but Addison, if you look at what Claypool's body, like his body of work, his potential there, you figured like, okay, he possibly could be a top tier receiver, maybe in the right system is probably what they was thinking. Now, okay, do we have a DE coming out in the first or second round of next year's draft that's worth taking? If not, I got this guy right over here, Montez Sweat. Perfect guy to put in and play in. And now this gives Jaylen Johnson the opportunity to prove that he is that top tier CB. And if he ain't that top tier CB, and if he's talking 20, 25 million, hey man, you know what? We appreciate you, but
25 million is crazy.
25 is crazy.
25 million is crazy.
That's
And I'm not
crazy.
I don't know what that is, but Tommy Waddle don't go on the radio and just say anything.
Right.
That much I do know. That what you see on Twitter, bro? What's going on?
Don't even worry about it, there, bro. I just clicked off. Don't worry about it.
He put, hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
You all right,
if any of y'all retweet any NBA Brazil page, y'all are gonna feel my wrath. Them NBA Brazil pages are wild, bro.
Fam.
Have y'all seen any of them?
There's an NFL version of it I just came across.
Oh yeah,
I was looking up NFL trade, see if I missed anything to bring up.
For a little minute.
No, never mind.
Hey, bro. Yeah, Ringo got off Twitter. He forgot he was following AD for a little while. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. No, I'm playing.
I'm taking a break.
No, but
I'm good.
Tommy Waddle's not gonna go on the radio and say anything. So if he's hearing something from a source and he's reporting it, that means that because he's like, I'm a former player, I'm not a reporter.
Right.
I'm not here to report things, but I'm gonna tell you what I've heard. And if he trusts it, I'm inclined to trust Tommy Waddle on that. And he said multiple times, right, that 20 million is the number that he had heard. And if you're far apart on 20 million, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Now, what I will say is this: I also don't know how the contract was structured, right? I'm the person that said I had beef with how they wanted to structure Roquan's contract.
Facts.
I didn't like how they structured Roquan's contract. I thought the de-escalators was disrespectful for a player of that magnitude.
Yep.
Levante said, ask Water who his source is. Bro, I'm not going to ask him who his source. Like, what? Like, and then I'm not going to come here and tell y'all, like, come on.
hey, who's his source? Other people in position.
Who's your source? I don't know. Somebody that probably played for the Bears as well. Like, I don't know. But it's one of those things for me right now where, like, if you're far apart on $20 million, like, I don't have a leg for you to stand on, bro. Like, I don't, like, I'm not paying him $25 million. He would have to have 7 picks the rest of the way. Like, you would have to prove to be one of the best DBs with this pass rush.
That man better
for
be
me to
Darrell
be looking
Revis.
at you. For me, bro, no, you got to be Deion Sanders. Forget Darrell Revis.
Yeah.
You got to be Deion Sanders. I need 2 more
Bailey,
pick sixes. But it all depends on, kind of how the contract is structured, different things like that. I would love to see kind of maybe what went into all of that, man. But hey, man, I think we pretty much covered a lot today, man. Appreciate you guys for showing love. Was there any trades that y'all saw that were weird today that y'all were like, I don't know about that one. That's an interesting trade. I didn't really. Josh Dobbs was weird.
The Josh Dobbs one was weird because
that's a good one.
Yeah, the Josh Dobbs one was weird because I thought for sure they was gonna get Jacoby Brissett. Because if they would have got Jacoby Brissett, I would have been cool. But Josh Dobbs, I ain't like.
I saw Jameis Winston in a report, and I was like,
I don't know.
Jameis is interesting. Jameis would have been interesting because you're giving him a chance to reset. You gotta have the right coach around Jameis, though.
Nah.
You do got to have the right coach around Jameis, bro. Jameis, let's be real. Jameis is probably the elite, the most elite teammate you ever going to have. Jameis a little bit weird, though.
He weird.
He gonna ride for you. He gonna be like, "Hey, that's my dog. Stop playing with me. I'll bite your ear off for him." And you'll be like, "Hold on now, dog. Hold on.
Man, did you say bite an ear? Hold on, my
what's
boy.
going on? What's going on there, Jameis? Like, what's happening?"
Yeah, but that's the reason why. Because to me, I don't care what anybody says. You look at Jameis' early stats before things got off the rails for him. You're looking at like a young Brett Favre, black Brett Favre. This man was just throwing. He was just slinging that field, throwing picks and touchdowns. That's all it was. Just picks and touchdowns. He's one of the few people in history with 5,000 yards, 5,109 to be exact.
Which season that coming?
33 touchdowns.
What season that? He threw how many picks that year? I said, which season that come in?
Oh man, 5,109 yards, 33 touchdowns, 30 INTs, baby. He was a 1-on-1. Don't worry about it, baby. He was good. He was solid.
Hey, you know what? I got another one I was just looking up. This is one that is a little weird in my book because I don't know why this guy, he's being overhyped in my opinion, coming from the Giants too. Leonard Williams.
Mike Davison, that's funny. I normally don't just throw one up there. That's funny. If they run, he gun. He don't care what team they own.
No, Leonard Williams to me is somebody that should have had a way better career coming out of USC. I had high hopes for him. I don't think that he's as good as advertised. Seattle gave up a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fifth-round pick to get him back at 29 years old. Nah.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Nah.
Well, he got.
I know you about to defend him.
No, he actually not.
Oh.
Nah. He was overvalued because he was playing next to Dexter Lawrence. Now I do think like that move could do a little something for them because I'm not gonna lie, Seattle got one of the best DB rooms in the game period. They got one of the best safety rooms. Bobby Wagner looked like he's turning back the clock. I don't know how much further, because I thought before this they would try to make some, pick up some ground with San Fran, but San Fran getting Chase Young just kind of put that over the top because it's like now you trying to keep up with Philly. You're not even worried about the Cowboys at this point.
Nobody's worried about the Cowboys at this point.
Yeah, I thought it would have did something, but I don't know about that move now. It's just
if I could add one that actually impacts us a little bit because it's in our division. Dobbs is in our division, but Peoples Jones going to Detroit.
That was a good pickup.
It's a good pickup. Sixth rounder.
For a six, that was an elite pickup.
Yeah,
hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Wow. Detroit cooking right now. I hate to say it. I hate to say it
too, man.
Don't say
Detroit is cooking right now. Dog.
Just say it once.
No, it's a sixth-round pick. It's a 2025.
Sixth rounder.
Well, they gave that
it's
man
not even next season.
They gave that man away for a goddamn
For
bucket
nothing.
and the ball to put in the bucket.
And so, like, I look at that as they got a good line. They got a good defense. The defense is rolling as well. Jared Goff is playing the best football he's ever played. He already had Amon-Ra. Gibbs is looking phenomenal. They are clicking on all cylinders, and now you give him another big target that he can actually, help alleviate some things off of Amon-Ra and stuff like that. I have to say this. I think the road to us winning the Super Bowl is going to definitely go. We got to get through Detroit.
I think
they're going to be here for a very long time.
Did they do that so that they can trade Jameson Williams though? Like that's what that feels like,
bro. That's what I was thinking.
That's what that feels like to me. Like I think they're gonna like move on from Jameson Williams.
Cause they got
like they can't do it now. Clearly, like they gonna ride out the rest of the season. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That one was a weird one because it was like, I mean, you got a ton of pieces over there. Like, but I guess look, hey. Never, you can't go right. Hey, knowledge I tell you, I'm with you, bro. A 6, bro. Now listen, you got to have somebody that's willing to talk to you for you to make that pick. But that was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy one. Don Burr said Sam Laporte is the best rookie tight end. He's not wrong. Sam Laporte is elite. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Marvin Jones stepped away from the team. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's true.
So yeah,
I guess you need to replace that. I don't know. That's true.
Oh wow.
Why is Velus Jones still on this team?
Hey,
the Commanders.
I'm sorry.
Third.
I was about
pick that they received for losing.
What happened? Why are you squinting?
Oh, I'm looking at something that Schefter tweeted out 10 minutes ago in regards to this compensatory pick.
I would have gave Velus Jones up for a bag of hot Doritos.
Hey, bro. Hot Doritos too much value. No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the one thing. If you want to talk about anything that's going to sit there and be a mark on someone's career, someone really has to explain why he's still here.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it won't be a mark on his career because he didn't do enough. We'll just look back at it and be like, "Y'all remember Velus?"
I'm talking about Ryan Poles.
Me too. Like
Ryan Poles is going to be like, "Hey, you remember?"
That's something that I'm already past. If we being 100% honest, because we have DJ Moore. But my God, I can't stand that man. Like I literally was like, hey, bro, like, what's he still doing here? Like, what do you do? What's your talent?
What is it that you say you do?
What's your talent, bro?
It's like, hey, do something. Like, hit him with the stick. Do something.
What are you waiting for?
Hey,
I don't know. Something amazing.
I get this level of excitement when this trade deadline comes around for the Bulls, because the Bulls are actually rumored to be one of the teams that should have made some moves around the James Harden thing. JJ Redick talked about it. A lot of people talked about it. A lot of people talked about some of our power forwards probably being on the move as more teams make moves. So we'll see. I think this is going to be one of those things where we probably make some similar moves.
Who we got at power forward?
He just wants Patrick Williams gone.
We ain't got Patrick Williams.
It's not even me. Everybody, JJ Redick himself said
Kobe White stepped up.
JJ Redick himself said that the Chicago Bulls would be somebody that you should look out for to make some moves. And I was like,
yeah, but everybody been saying that for 2 years now, and they keep going, hey man, we're gonna add.
We did have added.
We're gonna be buyers.
Carter.
We're gonna be buyers. Oh man. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by JCP Kid, C-Dub, and Stefan Adon. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago, and Velus Jones ain't going nowhere. He got to have naked pictures on people, bro. He gotta have bro. He got to, bro. That's the only way, bro. He gotta be like, wanna cut me, do ya? You know what I mean? Like, he gotta be, bro.
Hey, I'm glad that was a safe screensaver. Good Lord.
I didn't know which picture was gonna pop up. Peace.